We're back, people, and today we're breaking down film on Brandon Jones, Miami Dolphins safety. Obviously, they had two backups in this game with him and Campbell, and he's been playing at a much better rate over these past few games, filling in for Holland. It's nice to see him. He had 2 interceptions in this Jets game, but he's also just very consistent all around in this one, which I like to see. I mean, the 2 interceptions were solid plays, but, honestly, they were probably not even his most impressive plays, the most impressive picks ever. But working from the middle of the field, nice to see him, showing off some ball skills. It's never been a big strength of his. This pass is a horrible throw, but I do think even if it was thrown outside the numbers where it's supposed to be, Jones has a still very good shot to make a play on that. So overall, just impressive stuff. I feel like he was playing smart, sound football. He was making good tackles, which is good because he plays very fast, but sometimes we play out of control. And on this specific interception, he is on the far hash away from this. He starts, working towards the middle of the field, stands square, reads the eyes of the QB, sees that it's going over the top, open his hips before the release, and then show off the range to get out there. And he was in a good spot to make a play. If it is thrown out here, but you can see he even slows down. It's just tracking it the whole way, but was in a spot to make a play overall, and then gets the turnover. These are the things you want to see. Was really impressed with the backup safety play in this game. Jones did play a lot of single high, but it's nice to see him rotating down here. He did some of this too, and then just match Tyler Conklin down in the flat, and then just make a tackle. They're playing some cover 3. He's 3 match. He's, responsible for the seam flat. Match number 2. His first step to the outside, just close, take a good angle to the point of attack, and then make an open field tackle on his side end. That's exactly what you want to see. Good recognition skills, good closing speed. These are things that he's always going to be good at with that burst is really, really special, his acceleration. But it's nice to see him making some plays in coverage because it's never been the biggest strength. He's always been known for being more of a blitzer, and I just feel like his coverage and those things have grown as the season's progressed. Here's the interception that closes the game out for the Dolphins. They are disguising, showing a too high look, and he's going over to single high, and is still able to get over the top. The ball is, thrown away, but just being in the right spot and range again. These are impressive plays to make. Look where he's aligned pre-snap, closer to the numbers here, in between the hash and the numbers on the opposite side of the field. They rotate to single high, but even though he's playing single high now, he's still not even in between the hashes. He's reading the eyes of the QB, get over the top. They try to throw this ball there, and he gets there, and ball floats a little too high, and he makes a play at the catch point. Never really known for his ball skills, but he held on to both the passes in this game. Read the flow of these plays, just being in the correct position, doing a much better job on the deep end of this stuff. Whether he's playing as the post-field safety, split field looks, it's all just looked a lot more clean from Brandon Jones. Good play here from Brandon Jones. Looks like they're playing quarters to this side of the field, and then he sees the number 1 sit down, and he's just closing fast. I love the play speed here, and he doesn't backpedal, gain a bunch of depth. He's just sitting on these routes. The number 2 works out of the flat. He sees number 1 sit, QB breaks, and then boom, that transition and explosion out of this to close is so fast. Ball is slightly thrown too high, so he's not able to make that adjustment, and Jones just instantly tackles him from his depth here. This is a very impressive play, and I love the aggressiveness that he can play with at times. When he can do that stuff and just be a little more under controlled like that, it ends up working out really well in his favor. Down play here for Brandon Jones. They rotate across, and I just like him finding some work here, and also just the communication. He gets down here, he communicates that Ramsey's going to take this. He starts working across, and then he also sees that this is a shallow cross. So then find the number 2 across the field. So if the ball is thrown to this tight end, he's in a position to make a play on this. It's just, I like the communication skills of it all. There's nothing too insanely going on, but he just puts himself in a pretty solid spot when he has to rotate down with the motion, and communication is a big part of this pre-snap and post-snap, and the DBs did a much better job throughout this game with that. Dolphins on 3rd and 10, they're playing cover 6 here. They're playing cover 2 to the bottom and then quarters up top, and just another good job by Brandon Jones being patient. He's to the backside of the 3 receiver side, so 3 by 1. He knows basically their corner matched up here, number 1, and then find the new number 3, Garrett Wilson number 2, but basically comes to number 3 post snap, and he finds him, lets his post work right into him, and he's just in a spot to take this away the whole time, and then they get the sack underneath. Just good job being disciplined, good communication all around. Everyone's doing their job, staying in their spot, and no one's trying to chase anything extra that they don't need to. This is a much better sound defense from the whole secondary, and then specifically focusing on Brandon Jones. He's doing a great job at that. Jones gets a little impatient here in quarters. He's on the 3 receiver side, opens up his hips, but look how quick he recovers. He hits a nice little center field turn. This is against Garrett Wilson. Open your hips, boom, flip back around, center field turn. Very fluid, and then get back right into position to make a play. So if this ball was thrown, he had a chance to get there and close. Recovery ability is very important overall for DBs, and I just feel like Jones has looked a lot more comfortable in coverage, even when he does something, technique wise. that isn't perfect, he's able to make up for it, and just overall looks a lot more comfortable. Last play that I'm going to break down, and this is a weird one to break down because it is a delay of game, so this play doesn't even count. I've never really done this before, but they do basically, through the route break, end up playing it out like they don't hear the whistle, but Garrett Wilson runs his route full speed until, he has to, fully get out of his break, but Brandon Jones actually does a really good job transitioning, so it's kind of weird. He gets matched up with Garrett Wilson, who's a really good route runner, opens up his hips, and then he's able to match that break pretty much perfectly, so even if this was run at full speed, it just shows, I think, a little more anticipatory plays out of Jones. That's probably even though the play didn't end up being a run, it looked like it was going to be his best recognition yet on a man-to-man rep. Haven't really seen that out of him, and I know it's a very small thing to look at, and probably doesn't even matter, but there's just something about this play that I feel like he was reading him really well and transitioned with him perfectly. And yeah, Wilson does start to give up right there because he's hearing the whistle, but he was running that route full speed up to this point, and Jones was still in that hip pocket. So like what I saw overall in this game, communication, made 2 big interceptions, like what I saw from Campbell too. Video already out on that, but Jones looking better. Got to give him his credit for sure. The backup safeties are playing at a good level, and that's important in the Fantasy system. So you have to